The sun was setting over the small village of Kijana, nestled in the heart of Africa. The villagers were preparing for the night, their daily chores complete. But amidst the peaceful evening atmosphere, a sense of unease hung in the air. For weeks, tensions had been building between Kijana and the neighboring village. Mto, a dispute over land and resources had been simmering, and it seemed that war was inevitable. The villagers of Kijana were no strangers to conflict. They had fought many battles against rival villages and wild beasts. But this war would be different. This war would be fought against their own kin, their own brothers and sisters. As the night fell, the village elder, Jelani, called a meeting with the villagers. He stood before them, his eyes filled with a deep sadness. "My dear people," he began, his voice trembling, "we have tried to avoid this war, but it seems that it is upon us. The villagers of Mto have refused to listen to our pleas for peace. They have chosen to take up arms against us." The villagers murmured among themselves, their faces filled with worry and fear. Jelani continued, his voice growing stronger. "We will not back down. We will defend our land, our homes, and our families. We will fight for our very survival." The villagers nodded in agreement, their faces set with determination. As the night wore on, the villagers prepared for battle. They sharpened their spears, gathered their bows and arrows, and said their prayers. The next morning, the villagers of Kijana set out to face their enemies. They marched towards Mto, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what lay ahead. As they approached the village, they could see the warriors of Mto gathered before them. The air was thick with tension, the only sound the rustling of leaves and the beating of drums. The battle began, the two sides clashing in a frenzy of spears and arrows. The villagers of Kijana fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. Just when it seemed that all was lost, a group of warriors from a neighboring village arrived, armed and ready to fight. Together, the villagers of Kijana and their allies fought back. Against the warriors of Mto, the battle raged on for hours, the outcome hanging in the balance. In the end, it was the villagers of Kijana who emerged victorious. The warriors of Mto retreated, defeated and humiliated. As the dust settled, the villagers of Kijana surveyed the damage. Their village was in ruins, their homes destroyed, and their crops burned. But they had won the war, and they had defended their land. Jelani stood before them, his eyes filled with pride and sadness. "My dear people," he said, his voice trembling, "we have won the war, but at what cost? Our village is in ruins, and many of our people have lost their lives. But we must rebuild, and we must move forward. We must never forget the sacrifices that we have made, and we must always remember the bravery and strength of our people."